Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to another session for our Daily Banter, where we talk about what's been happening. So, what's up and about, guys? Interesting post on social media that's been making rounds. In Bauchi State, the government has actually ordered that secondary schools, public secondary schools, have their boys separated from their girls. So what happened yesterday is that secondary school students, boys, took to the streets in protest. They don't want it. You can't be doing this to us. The argument was that put forward by the state government was the fact that there is a prevalent state of immorality when it comes to the youths on social media. So they went ahead to say, you know what we're going to do? This is how we're going to attend to this. We're going to separate the boys from the girls. They reverted back to, I think, a 1978 constitution thingamajig. However, the kids are not finding it fun, and they say no. The argument out there, not mine, is that at this stage in life, where people are developing, especially sexually, it is not a good thing to do. Not that it's not a safe thing, but it has its impact. It has its...
it could have a triple effect.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's out there. You know, and I have my reservations.
They call it a growing trend of indecent behavior
on online.
Both sexes.
But this is online, they argue. They say it's an online thing. To make it a physical thing and say, because of this online thing, we're going to separate you people. Is it really going to have any effect? Mary, you're smiling pensively.
No, I'm actually amused. I'm amused because my thoughts would definitely not align with every other person's.
Oh, let's hear it.
So the thing is, personally, I'm beginning to think it's time for us to go back to the old days. Yes, I'm sorry. I know many people are going to come after me for this. But it is my thoughts. Like, it's actually so intense for me that I'm even going as far as thinking of when boys and girls weren't even allowed to have so much conversation. Like, I know it's insane, especially regarding the fact that so much is going on in the world right now. Because, you know, there's one thing to see. There's another thing to have somebody to practice with. And so many mad things happen. My own problem is this. If you stop this...
I love where she's going.
See, if you stop this...
Mike, don't you agree?
If you stop this from happening in schools, if you separate them in schools, are you going to ban them from seeing each other after school?
Mike.
Like on the road? That's my issue.
For me, the pick out for me, so I don't know, for me, somewhere the boys or girls, is the fact that teenagers are protesting. And I like the fact that younger people are having
a voice.
You know, if they want something, how did they protest? I've not really
They walked on the street carrying placards.
They went on the street carrying placards.
In uniform.
In uniform. And if it was peaceful, then it is their constitutional right. But then I don't know if an underage has such rights. That's one other thing. I don't know if that underage, because in some kind of places, then the guardians...
No, it doesn't. The guardians are supposed
the guardians might, in this particular scenario, might be answering.
I do not think they will go out without their teacher's permission. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to put teachers in trouble.
That's why it's a protest.
You cannot miss school like that.
So my point now is that they might be answerable to the law if underage are not allowed to protest. Since they are not allowed to vote, then I don't think they have the right in that way. I am just saying. But then I like the fact that they are trying to make their voice heard, and if it was peaceful, then they should be given a listening ear.
About the mental implication of it.
What's mental? It's funny because I really hope they protest when their academic scores is dropped below par.
Yeah.
You know, I hope they protest maybe when, for example, so there's a strike, right? They're protesting, right?
But they're still waiting for
anyway,
the people
what I have to say about this is they're teenagers. This is the point where their hormones are
raging.
Like, they are hot. And if they're not giving them the chance to relate,
what kind of teenagers
to communicate, to engage like it should, like nature made it to be.
You'll have a problem. Thank you very much, MM. See,
we are not encouraging.
This is what I'm saying. For mental development, I think it is only okay that a boy and a girl, or in a community, boys interact with girls. When you put them out there after secondary school, how exactly are you expecting them to be able to do that? You have already warped their minds. You've already warped the way they communicate, especially communication. There's a thing, and I'm going to use the example of parents and kids here. When you shut your kid down all the time, I'm not talking about when adults are talking to talk. When they go out into society, when they're grown grown up. You find out that in interviews, you ask them, so what is your name?
They're not confident.
No eye contact.
Yeah.
They've a certain lack of confidence because of that kind of upbringing.
So
when you do this to teenagers, it's the same thing.
But
only
unfortunately,
this time,
Mazino,
not
this
just mentally,
generation,
sexually
this
as well.
generation functions differently. They function
They're
on a
human.
different level. Those guys, you don't tell them. They don't listen. You don't tell them anything. They have a complete mind of their
Gen
own.
Zs.
Yeah, they call them Gen Zs. Yes, I love their level of confidence. Oh, I am so here for it. I really wish I had that level of confidence when I was their age. But you know what? I think it is only going to do more damage, really. Allow these kids to do what they need to do. Am I saying that I think what they're doing is basically restricting them, is controlling them. And what these kids do not need is control. I think it is most important to educate them.
I was
so
scared
the
to
thing
say
is
I disagree with
this.
Emmett because
Should I
she's
tell you
gonna be angry
something?
now.
Should I tell you
No,
something
go ahead. If you want to disagree with me,
about
that's fine.
educating them?
Mary, don't be holding me like that. We're already in trouble.
Oh, okay, that's
We have to
you
go
made
on
me
the
lose
break
my
now.
Okay, so
This was a serious discussion about the future. Hold on. Also,
you
wait.
see why they need to separate men and women? Mike, come and sit down here.
We're talking about the future of tomorrow.
Okay, let's get serious. Let's get serious. Okay, so the thing is this. At this point, come and sit down if I agree. Oh, yeah. So at this point, I think many young people need better chaperones. The problem is many young people are being allowed to just flow without control, and it's a big issue. Separating students in schools, well, I don't know how well that will work, because we know how people who attended same-sex schools ended up being homosexuals and the like. So I'm not quite sure how far that will go.
She went there.
But the reality, it's true now.
Oh, look at it go.
Touchdown! But the reality is this. When we're talking about male and female, having communication, a lot has been left to, the children can handle it. Oh, my child is still innocent. Your child is not innocent. Oh. In YouTube alone, what it teaches young people, your children are not innocent. People need to be aware of that.
Parenting expert, so we'll ask her that.
Yes.
Prudence Dana's going to join us.
Conversation.
I'm simply going to end on this note that I do not think that the apparatus lies inside of secondary schools or with the teachers. I think it is something that actually is instilled from home. That's all I'm going to say.
Until you meet a guy you fall in love with.
We have to go on a quick break now, people.
Let's
Let's hear your
take a
thoughts,
break.
guys. Do you think that this
Parents
policy
cannot
should
try.
be implemented? Let us know on all our social media platforms at TVC Connect. We gotta go, people. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Why are you rushing?